Hello, my name is Brittany, and today I will be walking you through my Apple theme week for a pre-K classroom. This week we are focusing on the letter A, numbers 1 through 10, the color red, and the shape of a circle. Each day you will have a book recommendation and 2 activities that you can choose from or do both. Since this theme is intended for the beginning of the year, I tried to make this as little prep as possible and an introduction to all of these early concepts. So let's take a look at day 1. Each day will come with a book recommendation. For day 1, we are starting off with Apple Farmer Annie. I absolutely adore this book for an introduction to an Apple theme week, and we will be doing a dramatic play that's going to go along with this book, which I will show you right now. This is a very simple Apple stand dramatic play and easy for you to set up. It has real world images as well as all the items from our story of the day. To introduce the letter A, we are doing a simple A is for Apple craft. I have prepped some colored cardstock for students to simply tear and glue to their apple. I would suggest using the color red as your dominant color. Students should end up with something similar to this. It might be all over the place, and that's okay. It's focusing on those fine motor skills and working on letter formation. Moving on to day 2, our book suggestion is From Apple Trees to Cider Please. Day 2, there are a few options for you, so don't get overwhelmed and just pick and choose what works for you. Day 2, we are learning about the parts of an apple. I've included a real-world photo of an apple with different labels so that you can easily identify each part of the apple. For more advanced students, I've included a blank label version so that they can begin to put their own labels on the apple to identify each part. Going along with this, there is also a craft so they can have a hands-on and fun way to learn about the parts of an apple. This is the example for them to follow. They'll begin with a blank sheet like this. Now students can cut and paste each part of the apple and add their labels. Each craft will have a black and white version to save on printing or allow your students to color and create as they want. We have one more activity for day 2, which is a Play-Doh mat. Since it's a Play-Doh mat, I would highly recommend laminating it, but because I'm on video, I don't want the glare to get in the way. For this activity, we're combining fine motor and counting skills. Students can take a counting card and place it in the box provided. Then they can use Play-Doh, pipe cleaners, or whatever you have around for them to create the parts of an apple. Here's an example of what your Play-Doh mat may look like. For day 3, the book recommendation is From Seed to Apple Tree. This is a great introduction to the life cycle of an apple. I provided you with real images of the life cycle of an apple for you to do with your students. This is a really fun and interactive way to learn and complete the life cycle of an apple. Great for your circle time board or tabletop activities. For our second activity, we will be focusing on counting from numbers 1 to 10. This is another activity that I would highly suggest laminating so that you can use it over and over again. I also print them double-sided to save on paper. Students can use dot markers to form each number. They can also use Play-Doh to fill in each dot. At the bottom here, they can work on graphing by using manipulatives like these mini apple erasers. Here's a closer look of what the mat would look like in use. For day 4, our book recommendation is Out and About at the Apple Orchard. For our first activity, we're doing process art. All you'll need for this activity is half an apple and some paint. Again, I would suggest using red paint since it is the focus color of the week. Students can now use the half of their apple to make stamps on their basket and write the color of the paint that they are using. This is so simple and easy, and your kids will love it. Our second activity for day 4 is a sorting activity of apple sizes. So we have a small tree, a medium tree, and a large tree. Again, I would recommend laminating these mats. For this activity, I'm using different sized pom-poms and child tweezers to work on those fine motor skills, but I've also provided you with different sized apples. Now students can sort each apple to the correct tree. To end our week, we will be reading Curious George Apple Harvest. For our craft, we will be focusing on the shape of a circle. This is the black and white version, and as you can see, students can cut and color each circle and glue it to the page provided. And we will also be ending our week with a sensory bin. For this bin, we will be counting apple seeds. This says, apple seed, how many do you see? I kept this sensory bin very simple. All I used was dried oats, pom-poms, my apple printable, and some child tweezers. Now students can pick a number and place the correct amount on their apple mat. You can find all of these activities in my Apple Theme weekly lessons, which I will link down below. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to help. See you next time.